So now we shall discuss the fuel handling. So as we are mainly dealing with solid fuels, that is coal, we will discuss about the solid fuels. So uh, there are some important considerations for a power plant engineer. If you join a power plant now, then you become a power plant engineer. The handling of these fuels is an important aspect. The following factors should be considered in selecting the fuel handling system. So what you have to consider, three important points are there. First point is, what is the amount of fuel to be supplied to the plant per hour, per day, that is known as plant fuel rate. Okay. Second thing, the plant location in respect to the fuel shipping. So most of the plants are connected by railway tracks, okay, or even by shipping this if it is at the coastal area. And third is the storage area available, because this coal and all, it consumes lot of space. That is why the storage area has to be considered. The coal from the coal mines may be transported by any of the following means. See, transportation by sea or river, transportation by rail, transportation by ropeways, overhead ropeways. If it is in hills, the ropeways are available. I think you might have seen Kudremukh iron ore, this, and some movies also you might have seen ropeways. Then transportation by road, that is in lorries, and transportation of coal by pipeline. Like fuel is transported by, liquid fuels are transported by pipeline, even coal can be transported by pipeline. Okay. So what are the requirements of a good coal handling plant? Suppose you become an engineer in the power plant, then you feel that the maintenance should be very low. The plant should be very reliable. It should be very simple and sound. Okay. It should require a minimum number of operators basically, and it should be able to deliver required quantity of coal at the destination during the peak periods, because you will have base load and peak load. Peak load means for certain period extra heavy demand will be there, so extra heavy coal supply has to be undertaken. Okay. And there should be minimum wear and tear of the equipment due to the abrasive action of coal particles. Now let us look at the coal handling systems. Mechanic handling of coal is preferred over manual handling because of the following reasons. This manually earlier, when you have seen, all activities were done by man, by shovels and all. Okay, but today if you see, it's all almost mechanized. You have forklift trucks, you have dumper trucks, okay, you have JCBs, you have conveyor systems, because this man tends to get tired. But the mechanical handling is highly reliable, less labor is required, it is economical for medium and large capacity plants, operation is easy and smooth. Okay, they can be started and can be economically adjusted according to the need. Minimum labor is put into unhealthy conditions, and losses in transport are also minimized. But only disadvantages are, it requires maintenance, and cost of the machine is very high. Okay. Now, if you look at one rail transport, suppose coal is delivered by the rail, okay, then from the railway wagon it is unloaded at the site. From unloading, then the coal preparation takes place. For unloading, what you will have? You will have car shakers, or even the wagons. I don't know whether you observed, railway wagons are turned around. Okay, so car shakers, rotary car damping, unloading towers and bridges, self-unloading boats, lifts, trucks, cranes, buckets. These are all used for unloading. Then for preparation, you have got because you have to make the size, you cannot convey the big size. So you will have crushers, sizers, and dryers. Then for transfer equipment, you will have like conveyors, that is belt conveyor, screw conveyor, bucket elevators, skip hoist, flight conveyor. Okay, and it is stored outdoor. First it is stored outdoor storage, then there will be covered storage, then before usage it will be brought into the covered storage. So this covered storage, you will have bulldozer, scrapers, tramways, cranes, conveyor systems and all. And then in plant, near the plant only, you will have handling will take place by using this equipment. Then it will be weighed, and then it will be sent to the furnace for firing. Okay, so what are the coal transfer equipment? As you can see here, transfer equipments are given: belt conveyors, bucket conveyors, screw conveyors, grab bucket conveyors, flight conveyors. Okay, now we shall discuss about the belt conveyors. So belt conveyors are basically an endless belt moving over the coal, moving over which coal is moved, and the belt is connected to a pair of drums at the end and supported at the upper portion by a series of rollers, that is known as idlers, at regular intervals as shown in the figure. So you can see in the figure, two extreme ends you have got two pulleys, okay, and there is an endless belt. Belt means you have seen like in flour mill and all, there is a belt, and a 3-inch 4-inch belt, but here you have got big belts, say 1 feet 2 feet wide, and the length depends on the distance of travel. Because it is too long, then it will tend to sag. So because to avoid sagging, then in between it is the upper portion is provided with series of rollers. They are idler rollers, they are simply rolling, but because of belt they are rolling, otherwise they are not powered, and only one pulley will be drive pulley, other pulley will be also idling pulley only. The belt is usually made of strong and flexible materials such as rubber or canvas. Belt conveyors are useful for transportation of large quantity of coal over long distances in power plants. The belt is inclined to about 50 to 20 degrees from the charge end to the discharge end. So the belt will always be like tilted downwards, so that easy to move. The average speed of belt conveyors is in the range of 50 to 100 meters per minute. And it is very simple in construction and operation. These are the advantages, like I'll enumerate some advantages. The operation is smooth and clean. It requires less power compared to other systems. Large quantity of coal can be conveyed quickly and continuously, and it is comparatively cheaper in maintenance and operation. Okay. Now the next conveyor we will see is the screw conveyor. So you can see the screw conveyor here. So there is a screw like your bolt like, okay, bigger size bolt, okay. It is a screw. You have got lead screw in your lathe machine. So this is a screw. What happens, you see, one end from the top coal is entering inside, and because the screw is rotating, because of rotation of the screw, the coal is conveyed to the other end. You can see left side coal is coming down from the bottom. It consists of an endless helicoid screw fitted to a shaft. The driving mechanism is connected to one end of the shaft, and the other end of the shaft is supported in an enclosed ball bearing. Okay, so one is a driving end, other end is a like supported end with a ball bearing. The screw, while rotating in the housing, transfers coal from one end to the other end. Okay, and the dimensions are given, like diameter of the screw can be 50 to around 50 centimeters. Okay, then almost like 2 feet. Then speed can be 70 to 120 RPM, and the capacity can be 125 tons per hour maximum. Now we should look at bucket elevators. Bucket elevators, you see here the two types of bucket elevators are given. One is centrifugal type and one is continuous type. So you can see here in this type of elevators, like we have lifts, these are similar to lift is also known as elevator because it goes perpendicular to the earth vertically. So in this type of elevator, steel V-shaped buckets are rigidly fastened to a endless chain going around sprockets. So two ends you have got sprocket, one end will be driving and another will be driven sprocket, and to the between the two sprockets there will be chain, and to that chain the V-shaped buckets are connected. Buckets are equally spaced on the chain and can receive their load by dipping into the coal pocket at the lower end of the system. So these are basically from bottom it is transported to the top level. The material elevated in buckets is discharged either by the centrifugal force, okay, at the top of the elevator, or by drawing back the buckets on the discharge side. See, in the centrifugal means by when it goes on the top end, because it is rotating, because of centrifugal the coal goes out. Otherwise, what we will do, we will draw back the buckets on the discharge side. From there we will take out the coal. So these are known as bucket elevators. So what are the advantages? Here less power is required, and the coal can be discharged at high elevated places, and less floor area is required, and coal these are the advantages. The disadvantages is the capacity is limited, and hence is not suitable for very large capacity power stations. Okay, so in the next class we will discuss about the ash handling systems.